simply more where it matters. This is the best time of year for all of the right connections. Every week this holiday season, there'll be much more to win. Sign up or upgrade, pay your bills, or shop online with your Platinum Loyalty Card, and incredible perks await you. You know what they say, the more the merrier. Follow our social media pages, call us 465-2588, or visit us in-store to unwrap the season's best offers. And hurry, all holiday deals won't last long. This Christmas, get more with the cable. As always, we give more where it matters.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024, and you are listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. This program is also being carried live via our social media platforms. Our YouTube channel is ZIZ Online, and Facebook is ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation. We are also live on ZIZ TV Channel 5. When we open the phone lines, you may call us at 465-6120 or 1903. Again, the numbers to call are 465-6120 or 1903. That is 6120 or 1903. Those are the numbers you call to participate in the conversation for today. Let me also greet those of you who are listening from other parts of the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you so much for tuning into today's edition of The Edge. It is the beginning of a new week. And of course, we are getting closer and closer and closer to Christmas, a time where you spend most of it with family and friends, loved ones, and so you have the usual or the traditional family gatherings, Christmas parties, or Christmas caroling and Christmas concerts, whether it be in schools or other organizations across the country. But really it is a time to reflect on the year, looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly, looking at some of the achievements that you were able to, well, some of the things that you were able to achieve for the year, and how you would like to improve for the next year or the new year and beyond. It is also a time to, as I mentioned, spend time with your family and to reflect how or what you can do differently to improve your life and that of your family members. But Christmas is a really beautiful time, and this year I wish each and every one of you under the sound of my voice nothing but peace, joy, and happiness this Christmas season. It is never too early for me to share these greetings with you, even though the actual Christmas day is not until the 25th, but it is never too early for me to share these greetings with you. And of course, we are approaching we are already in the carnival season, and so there are a number of activities slated for the remainder of this month into January. And so some of the major events include, the Calypso show. I think last night they had the swimsuit segment of the Queen show, I believe, right? Then we have the panorama competition coming up. Have quite a number of activities, and people are coming home, returning nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis. They are coming home to celebrate Christmas and Carnival. And of course, people come from across the Caribbean region to experience Carnival in St. Kitts. And so all in all, it is expected to be a very busy and festive time. Bastia is expected to be buzzing with people, some shopping, some just, walking around and enjoying the scenery and what St. Kitts, Bastia in particular, has to offer. It's 11:07 and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. And again, thank you so much for joining me on the program for today. I want to share with you some things, of course, here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and to get your take, your participation throughout the remainder of the hour. Beginning with something that I believe is not talked about much, but is significant, and it was shedding the light on persons living with disabilities. And it was an event held on Friday, December 6th, dubbed Walk a Mile in My Shoes. And it gave able-bodied individuals a glimpse into the challenges faced by persons with disabilities in St. Kitts and Nevis who traverse the streets of Bastia and elsewhere every day. And so persons were blindfolded to experience the challenges of the visually impaired, while others sat in wheelchairs representing persons with mobility challenges. They set off from the West Bastia bus station, going along the Bay Road, turning left onto 4th Street, then Keon Street, left on Church Street, left on Liverpool Row, and across Bank Street, ending at Independence Square. There were representatives from the public sector and civil society, and they participated in the awareness activity. The sounds of the Cadets Community Drum Band brought greater attention to the group as they made their way through the city center. Dwayne Weeks of the Department of Employment and Labor was blindfolded on the walk, and he said, quote, "I think that it is important that we experience certain things for ourselves so that we can emphasize or empathize with others and show them the support they need, and that is one of the things we definitely need to do more." But I love the idea behind such an activity, bringing awareness to persons living with disabilities. Sometimes as able-bodied people, we would assume that we know what it is like to be disabled if we have never been disabled ourselves. And I would say it's not just for you as an able-bodied person to experience that, but generally it is to bring awareness. And so particularly in terms of our infrastructure, whenever we are planning, whether it be a new building or anything related to infrastructure, we have that in the back of our minds. We have that on our priority list in terms of catering to persons with disabilities. And these things are really, really important, and it shows inclusivity. It shows, I would say, cohesion in our approach and in our thinking. It is 11 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. We'll take this break, and when we come back, we'll continue the program here on ZIZ Radio. And of course, you'll open the phone lines to hear from you. Stay tuned.
I want this and this. Oh, can I have?
Sure, we have an extra $600 from Flo. You can have everything you want.
Get it all with the gift of a free $600 MasterCard cash card. 2 free smartphones and free installation when you bundle Flo Mobile and Internet. That's the gift of free times 3. Get it all this Christmas at Flo. Bundle in store or online at discoverflo.co today.
Merry Christmas! Get ready for the biggest celebration of savings at Horchford's Building and Neva Centers. It's Build-A-Fest. Join us from Thursday, December 12th to Saturday, December 14th for a spectacular 30% off all discountable items store-wide. Plus, pay just 5% VAT on VAT Day Friday, December 13th. Yes, on VAT Day Friday, you get 30% off plus an extra 12% VAT discount. This is your chance to build your dreams without breaking the bank. From construction materials to home improvement essentials, everything is on sale. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save big. Celebrate the season with our Build-A-Fest weekend sale and stock up on everything you need for your projects. Join us at Horchford's Building and Neva Centers December 12th through 14th, where building your future is more affordable than ever.
Tis the season of Christmas. We feeling festive for so. You get 2 free smartphones when you sign up for a family postpaid plan with Flo. Choose a family essential plan and get 30 gigabytes of data. The family plus plan and get 45 gigabytes of data. Or the family max plan and get a whopping 60 gigabytes of data. With any family plan, you get 2 Samsung smartphones free. Get it all this Christmas at Flo. Sign up in store or online today at discoverflo.co.
Welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today, Monday, December 9th, 2024. Again, the numbers to call are 465-6120 or 465-1903. That's 6120 or 1903. There has been a 66% drop in firearm-related homicides in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I'll share with you some information from a statement that was issued by the Prime Minister's office. So it says that a new chapter in St. Kitts and Nevis' fight against crime has been written with the release of findings from the government's 90-day campaign against crime and violence, and you would know that this was last week. The initiative, launched in September, reported a 66% decrease in firearm-related homicides, signaling a shift in the nation's approach to public safety. The results, presented at an event hosted by the Citizen Security Secretariat, showcased the impact of the government's efforts to tackle crime through a public health lens. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, emphasized the importance of unity and collaboration in achieving these results. Now, the campaign, which aimed to address the root causes of crime, saw engaging engagement across all sectors of society, from law enforcement and government officials to community leaders, educators, and faith-based organizations. The most striking achievement was the dramatic reduction in firearm-related homicides during the campaign period. Such incidents dropped by 66% from an average of 3 per month to 3 in the entire 3-month campaign period. The findings from the campaign will form in the development of a strategic plan for citizen security, ensuring that the lessons learned are integrated into the Federation's governance framework. It says that the government also plans to share its innovative approach and successes at the upcoming 3rd CARICOM Symposium on Crime as a public health issue. Quote, "This is a victory for our nation, but it is a shared victory. It belongs to every citizen, every community, and every stakeholder who contributed to this effort," said Prime Minister Drew. And so, as I mentioned, in essence, the 90-day campaign against crime and violence is simply to get from the ordinary citizens and generally people across St. Kitts and Nevis as to how we could tackle the issue of crime and violence, and what are some of the things that law enforcement agencies and law enforcement bodies can employ to ensure that we are responding appropriately to this issue of crime and violence. How can the community form part of the strategy in terms of things that may seem simple, but initiatives like after school programs, drama classes or classes for young people who are particularly interested in unique things. I would say these things go a long way. These things definitely go a long way. But again, it's to just hear from the public, hear from the community. What do you think we should do to tackle this issue? What do you think we should do? And I believe that it should be an ongoing conversation. It is not a conversation that you have because you had a homicide or a crime committed last week or the week before. But it should be an ongoing conversation. It should remain as an ongoing conversation where we constantly talk about the challenges and how best we can tackle these challenges, because crime is something that will affect us continuously or continually. It is something that would definitely affect us, and it is a conversation that must be ongoing, and not just to talk, but the purpose of the conversation really and truly is to hear from members of the public, because we can't assume that those who are experts in the field would have all of the answers. You, as a member of the community, may have a different idea or a different strategy as to how you address this issue. And so what better way than to come into the community and hear from you and others as to what you believe should be done to tackle this issue. So in a sense, that is what the campaign is about. I would like to see more of these definitely happening, because as I mentioned, it should be an ongoing process. It should be an ongoing process. Why? I believe crime is something that it continues to, and this is the best word I could find right now, but it continues to develop. It is evolving, and so the conversations must continue to come. The conversations must continue to happen in terms of how do we address these challenges. And there are so many factors that would contribute to crime. When I was at the event for the findings that were being released, it really opened my mind and opened my eyes to there's so many factors that contribute to this issue of crime, and some of those factors including education. It included in some cases, poverty. It included, and these are not the major issues, but these are just some of the factors. It included people just generally wanting to feel that if they join a gang or they're a part of a certain group, they feel safe. And that is why something like this has to really be addressed from the beginning, the root cause. You tackle it there, and you don't wait until it spirals to say that you're trying to tackle or address the issue. And that's how I feel about it. It's 11:20. The phone lines are open. Call us at 465-6120. Let's take our first call for this morning. Okay, we lost that one. 465-6120, 465-1903. You are listening to The Edge in ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Devon.
Yes, how you doing today?
Good morning to the good people at St. Kitts. Devon, I want to wish Honorable Sean Richards and former Prime Minister Tim Harris happy birthday, happy belated birthday. I was tied up, so I couldn't reach the media's them to wish them happy birthday. Mm-hmm. But I hope they enjoy it and everything well. Hey, my good friend there, Devon.
Yeah, talk to me. Go ahead.
Devon, things are looking pretty, eh? Mm-hmm. And I want Prime Minister Joe to know. Don't play on Kitchen app. Don't play with app. Come up with something. Things is bad. You all ain't understand food killing people, and I ain't understand the country. To ease people with this food. Do not play with app. Have a good morning, Devon. And people say you just talk a little too much. I realize it.
All right, Carla, thank you for your contribution to the program. The phone lines remain open, and we are taking your calls. 465-6120. Let's take this call. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, how are you doing today? Good morning.
I'm not too bad. What about you?
I am doing well myself.
Praise the Lord for that. Okay, one of the reasons why children are not behaving in a way in which they ought to, and in the end get themselves caught up in criminal activity, is because of lack of principles and morals that are not set in the home. Many parents do not set a good example for their children. Mm-hmm. Right? So, although a child might be taught the proper way to go about their daily living in school, maybe even in church, when they go back home, they are exposed to a lot of bad teaching, and children most of the time love to emulate their parents. Mm-hmm. A child would more say they want to be like their father. A boy would rather say that he wants to be like his father, although his father is doing bad things. Mm-hmm. You understand? That's his father, and so he loves his father. Same thing with a girl. A girl will say, I love my mother, and whatever traits that the mother is portraying, the daughter looks at the mother and take pattern from it. Mm-hmm. What I would like to say is that I think that more extracurricular activities, more skill set programs need to be made available to children in the community.
Okay.
Because for me, I'm talking from experience. I grew up in a solid family, but at one point I went astray a little, and skill. A skill is what brought me back to my senses. You know, and I've been doing what I've been doing after learning it in 1994, and I'm still doing it. I built a house from it. Because of this skill, I'm out of trouble and making a living for me and my family. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot of other skill set persons who are listening who testify to the same thing. You know, even though children may be exposed to bad things, a skill which they could fall in love with. And not only that, but after they recognize that this skill could give them a better life in the future, this can help them to stay on the right path. I believe so.
All right.
You know, if the ministry responsible for children is listening, my number is 668-2574-466-6674. If they're interested in having children not idling on the street and getting themselves in trouble, I will make myself available to teach.
Could you repeat the number for me, please? 668?
668-2574 and 466-6674.
Okay, and do you mind sharing your name for the benefit of the listeners? Is that okay?
My name is Gordon Woodley. I'm a leathercraft professional.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Woodley.
This saved me from going down the wrong path. I could have been in prison. I could have been in the cemetery. But this was introduced to me when I was 14 years old. And I'm still doing it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. We want to take some more calls. So thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It is 465-6120. Let's take this call. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Devon.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I just come from the animals then.
All right.
Now, Devon. Today is, I don't know. Okay, anyway, I jam down with something there. I want to send belated both the greetings going out to the former Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, and to the Honorable Sean Richard. I want to send both the greetings going out to them. They celebrate sometime over the weekend, I made to understand?
Yes, last week, yes.
Yes. Now, Brother Devon, we're in a crisis with this crime. And the crime could solve. But Brother Devon, when we was a small boy coming up, in our community, you know how to take no government and nobody to organize a club. We used to organize with one sport club. Pick up whatever little change we have, Devon, and make a little cricket club, the football club, and buy with one cricket gears and everything coming up as young people. Now what I think that since this young man out of hand, I believe what government should do, get them in a group and form some organization and put these young men in some organization. Whether they want to play cricket, they want to play football, they want to play whatever they want to play, they play. You know, keep them positive, keep them on focus on something positive to do. Because a lot of these young children stepping out of school, right? As we say children. Because some of them coming out not so bright. Some of them are coming out nothing at all. And find some organization, some club or something to put them into. You understand? That will turn them mind off of the ignorance and want to fight them and beat them one another or shoot up one another. Devon is so bad when you hear a young man get shot down by a next young man, and all of us is one. You know? So something needs to be done. Go in the community them. Ask these young men. I blame some of these parents too, you know. I blame a lot of these parents because they know what the children do. They know what the children do. So some of them smoke weed, even go in school and start to smoke weed. And some of the parents them know, grandparents know. And they will report them to the police. Out of hand. Something needs to be done. Seriously. It ain't no matter put down the pressure upon them who say that they're going to do this and that with them. Find some kind of positive sporting community, sporting club to put them into, organization to put them into. Keep them on focus on doing something. Look cricket, look football. You could get a lot of money out of cricket now, out of football now.
All right.
And whatever sport. All right, then, Devon, you take care.
Yes, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. The phone lines remain open. It's 11:30. Call us at 465-6120 or 465-1903. We have a caller on the line. 465-6120 or 465-1903. It's 11:30 and you are listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned.
Get ready to ignite your Tuesday nights with a show that's as educational as it is entertaining. Welcome to Pleasure Pulse, your weekly guide to the world of sex education. Join Roma every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. exclusively on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. It's the perfect way to spice up your midweek routine and get answers to all your burning questions. Whether you're looking for relationship advice or curious about the art of intimacy, Roma's got you covered. Pleasure Pulse, every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Only on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Don't miss out. Your sex education journey starts this Tuesday with Roma as your guide.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. We realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need to help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Cari Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. The phone lines remain open and we are taking your calls at 465-6120 or 465-1903. You are listening to The Edge for December 9th, 2024. If you have no calls, I wanted to continue on the point that the caller was making. And this is something that I've been reading up on for quite some time. As it relates to the belief that crime and in particular murder was not as prevalent in the past versus today, and there were a number of reasons why I would say this belief continues to persist, and one is because of lack of reliable data. So in the past, record keeping and data collection were not as comprehensive and standardized as they are today. And so crime rates and incidents of violence were often underreported or simply not reported. And so you had a case where perhaps these things were happening but they were not being reported. And then different forms of justice in earlier times, crime may have been handled locally. So if something happens in the community, it would not be escalated to the national level. It would be handled right there and then. And then there were different forms of justice, such as public execution, vigilante justice, and these things were seen as, I would say, the norm back then. Then, of course, changes in the social structure, where the past often had stricter social norms and community structures that might have deterred crime to an extent. However, this also meant that criminal activity was more likely to be hidden or dealt with by community members. So I think those are some of the reasons as to why the belief continues to persist as it relates to back in the day. There was little crime, and there wasn't much of these things really happening. But the reality is, it is happening, it has been happening, and it continues to happen. And the question is, how do we address these things? You know, when you look at it really and truly, a lot of the things that we've suggested over the years in terms of how we're going to tackle this issue, they've been tried. But I think the issue has really been the longevity of the programs and the initiatives. And so you can roll out a program that is data driven, and the program that you know for a fact, if held on for the next 10 to 15 years, it will work. It doesn't work because after 2, 3, 4 years, it crumbles. Let's head back to the phone lines and open up the phone lines, taking your calls at 465-6120 or 465-1903. Those are the numbers you call to participate in the conversation for today. You are listening to The Edge here in ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Another such reason was shifts in crime categories. And so the types of crime that people focus on today, such as organized crime, murder, and other forms of violent crime, may not have been as common or well documented in the past. And so you had an idea, or you knew that it happened, but it wasn't well documented. And so additionally, some historical crimes like war-related violence and organized crime and these things might not have been categorized in the same way as modern crime. And of course you have, let's hold that thought, you have a caller. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, man. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. And yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I wanted to mention something. I got an idea that I wanted to mention, right? Talking about like mentorship for the kids and this type of stuff. The gentleman Michael Louis, that's on the West Indies team, right? I believe somebody should maybe collaborate with him and maybe start up a cricket camp or some type of mentorship program for the youths. And the way how I see that what we can do to make it work is like every time he bats, whatever runs he makes, some company or a person who got money to invest or something like that, they can invest in the youths. Every runs that he makes, they contribute X amount of money towards the program, right? Mm-hmm. And every time he makes a half century, they up the money, and every time he makes a century, they up the money again. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm following you. Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody in St. Kitts, man. Whether I don't know, everything can be done by the government, but a company or some persons who got money should invest in the youth that way, in a camp, a cricket camp, or just some type of mentorship program, and utilize Louis, collaborate with Louis. And it would be some type of incentives on both sides. It would motivate him to score more runs. Every time he bats, whatever inning he has, whatever amount of runs he makes, they contribute X amount of money. Then when he makes a half century, they up the money, and then when he makes a century, they up the money again. That's my small contribution for the day, man. Thanks a lot. I hope persons are listening and taking notes of these ideas, man.
Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution. We have another call on the line. 465-6120 or 465-1903. I think that's a really great suggestion in terms of having a mentorship program. There are similar programs to what you have suggested right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and not in Nevis in particular. There's a boys mentorship program, and so there are opportunities that are available at giving young people and even at-risk youth a second chance at life. But that's a great suggestion. Even though there are currently mentorship programs happening, it is good where you can have more and have more impactful people head or lead or participate in these programs. Again, the idea is to really tackle this issue and give our young people a second chance at life, and giving them an opportunity to get involved in something positive, in something different, in something meaningful, in something that would mean a lot to them and a lot to their community, and I say a lot to their family. The phone lines are open. Call us at 465-6120 or 465-1903. You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Let me just share with you again that the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis will be meeting on Monday, where the Prime Minister is expected to present the budget for 2025 and the financial statements, budgetary proposals, budget in both St. Kitts and Nevis usually spans about 2 to 3 days, maybe 4, depending on the content or the information that is coming out of the budget. And so that is expected to commence this coming Monday, the 16th, and the Prime Minister will give, as well as the other ministers of government, I would say what they accomplished in this year 2024, and what are some of the priorities, or what are some of the things that they'd like to set their eyes upon for 2025 and beyond. 11:42, the phone lines are open. Call us 465-6120 or 465-1903, giving you an opportunity to comment on the topic at hand here for today. But I love the conversation in terms of different ways as to how we can tackle this issue. My thing is, all of the ideas that have been presented over the years, I think they need to be seriously considered. Of course, you may not be able to implement all of these ideas, but I may have an idea that would be able to complement the idea that you have. And that really and truly is the aim of it. Hear from people, say, hey, what it is that you can do, what it is that you would like to suggest as to what we can do to make it better. Let's head back to the phone lines and we will take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Devon. I'm thinking an idea of a sort of selective mandatory national service in any school. I won't really call it a boot camp, but some kind of national service. You join the cadets, or you join the police cadets, whichever one it is. For boys and girls. I say selective because this word suits a certain group of fellas and young girls who can't behave, Selective mandatory national service, and the authorities to sort of play with it and see.
When you say a national service, could you say what exactly you're referring to?
Well, when they leave school, who want to go in the agricultural sector or this sector or that sector. And you'll get a stipend. Some people just say boot camp, but that sounds a bit too.
And what is it that you'd hope that they'd learn after participating or being involved in this activity?
Well, they'll serve the country at certain time in different aspects of development.
Okay. All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. The phone lines remain open at 465-6120 or 465-1903. Those are the numbers you call to participate in the conversation here for today on The Edge. It is 11:45 and we are taking your call. So I think what the caller is saying, something like a boot camp or for at-risk youth, for them to join to learn a skill or something of that nature, if I understood correctly what you were trying to convey to the general public. But the phone lines are open. Let's hear from you, the listeners, your take on how do we tackle the issue of crime and violence. And I'm having this conversation because I believe it is one that needs to happen again and again and again and again and again. It is not a case where you can have an activity and you open the floor and you say, okay, we're going to take 50 comments or 50 ideas and or suggestions, and then you completely shut it off there and you believe that you can aggressively and properly tackle the issue based off of those 50 ideas. No, it is something that has to continue. It has to go on and on and on and on, and it might get redundant or it might get boring, but it is in the best interest of, I would say, security in St. Kitts and Nevis. Let's take this break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay tuned.
Jeff, you leaving already, boss? You sure you could drive after them drinks?
Yeah, I could handle it, yeah. Ain't it too far from here. I'm gonna take me time.
Oh my God! Jeff, you're gone! I told you not to drink and drive!
The problem with drinking and driving is the morning after. Drink responsibly.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Nevis National Council on Drug Abuse Prevention in collaboration with SKNIS.
Hey, guess what? It's Radio Market.
Call in and sell your merchandise. You can negotiate, give and trade.
We on radio, internet, and TV.
Like us, share us, and subscribe to
ZIZonline.com.
And remember, we don't sell nothing over $5,000.
Call
Radio Market, every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Call 465-2555. 662-8674 or 718-577-2916. ZIZ Radio, giving back to the people.
Welcome back to The Edge and ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. It's 11:49 and we are winding down, getting ready for the ZIZ midday newscast. But in the meantime, the phone lines remain open at 465-6120 or 465-1903 for you to call and make your contribution towards the discussion for today. But really, we are talking about crime and violence in St. Kitts and Nevis, and what are some of the ways that you think we should tackle this issue. I don't believe there is one single idea or one single strategy that could tackle this issue. It must be a ongoing conversation where we continue to hear new, fresh and innovative ideas, where we continue to hear, look, I think this is how we should do it, or we should do it this way, that way, or whatever the case may be. But it is something that continues to evolve, we know, as it relates to gun trafficking. And we've heard the stories and we have seen the stories on the news where criminals tend to have guns that are far more powerful than that of the armed forces. And so we realize that the criminals are getting smarter and smarter in terms of some of the channels that they would use and some of the spaces and areas that they would use to carry out their criminal behavior, their criminal activity. And those are the reasons, those are just some of the reasons as to why it has to be an ongoing conversation. You can't just get up today and say, well, we're going to talk about it today, and then that's the end of it. No, it has to be continuous, because again, you are going to have people from the community who are going to have new, fresh and innovative ideas as to how we tackle this issue. But it is definitely one that we must take very, very seriously. But again, I love the suggestion that was made by the previous caller in terms of like a mentorship program. While yes, we do have, you can still have more, because again, it is to be like a role model to young people and to target at-risk youth and try to bring them back on the straight and the narrow path. Another caller spoke about the fact that he was able to learn a skill and or a trade. You know, those things are truly amazing. Let's go back to the phone lines. Okay, we lost that one. 465-6120, 465. We have a call on the line. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, good morning again. The guys that call in from the overseas line that made the suggestion about the cricket being a mentor for our children. It's a good suggestion, but the thing is, we have so many things that we can use from the different skill set, the different avenues of whether it's business. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's from a medical aspect, from an agriculture aspect. There we have a lot of things to offer, but what I think is the problem. The thing is, we do not have the time for our children. You understand? Just like how the parents don't have the time for them, the society and the community don't have the time for them either. You understand? It's all about making the money. Yes, we have bills to pay. We have overheads and so forth. Yes, I know. But look at the bigger picture. You have the money, you have the houses, you have the cars, you know, you have all the luxury, but if you cannot live in peace in your own country, the luxury, the house, the car, yeah, you know, we have mortgages to pay and so forth, so yes, we have to work. We don't have no time with these children. But then we have to look at the bigger picture. Otherwise, we will not be able to enjoy all of these luxuries that we are putting in front of our children. Mentorship programs can be set up from a lot of different aspects. As I mentioned, medical, agriculture, the Jersey guy, he mentioned sport, cricket. You understand? Mm-hmm. We're busy chasing the dollar. That is the problem. I don't know if you agree with me.
Mm-hmm. I totally understand where you are coming from. In some cases where it seems like we're completely ignoring those who most need our help.
You understand? I mean, one of our top calypsonians, I think it's the monarchy of the calypso, the reigning queen. she made mention of that in her song, the song that she has released and competing with for this year. You know, it starts within the home, and the tablet, the gadgets, they are used to look after our children, and it's very sad, and it's because, as I said, we are busy chasing the dollar. Doesn't make any sense to have $1 million in your account, and you can't enjoy it because you can't go anywhere. There's crime here, there, and everywhere.
All right.
You understand?
Yeah. All right, caller. Yes. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's take this other call. You're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I agree with this gentleman who's just speaking. I said the same thing myself. We have a plethora of programs home, youth programs. The problem is that it's time consuming. As a counselor myself, it is time. You know, I know what it is. It's time consuming, and it's to get so people to get involved with these programs and get these kids in. It takes a lot of time, but we do have a plethora of programs home for kids, and the youth home knows about those programs. It's just to get people who are willing to put the time in to get the youth in and work with them constantly, because it will take a while. It's time consuming. So, but we have the programs home. It's just the other part of it. That's how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. All right, caller. Thank you so much. Let's take this other call. Call you on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, Devon.
Yes, go ahead.
We must remember, children are getting children, and children, when they get children, they don't know how to take care of children. Most of these children who getting children now is the grandparents them who taking care of these children. And some of these grandparents ain't able, some of them can't go with them. You understand? And it's reality. Devon, if you see some of these children up and down, how they hair look, say they go in school. How they dress, say they go in school. How they eye them look, say they go in school. You understand? Mm-hmm. And nobody out there, man, the community look long term, nobody could tell nobody nothing about the children them now. Once you get cussed, yeah, like before, like we was coming up, a small boy coming up, you do something wrong, somebody say you do something wrong. What are your parents and them not talk? They complain the parents to you. Or they meet you on the beach, you send you home to your parents. We ain't getting that anymore. People just support themselves. As long as me children, them, they're not care about nobody else's children. And all these things. And the man said right. When you got this, if you got $1 million and you can't enjoy $1 million by going out or go where you want or go to some function you want, because a delinquent children over there, you get something from. You get shoot down or get whatever happened to you. That is a point, a good point. I mean, these young people just getting children, just getting. I got the calling saying no. They should. I got an age group for people to get children. Because these young people getting children getting children, they ain't no good, and nobody out there to control them. Community like before, ain't like before no more. And this is the thing going on with them. The parents them got to go work. When they come home, they're tired. They got to go sleep. All right, then they're gone.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program, and we'll just stop there with the call. It's 11:59, and you're listening to The Edge and ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Let me say thank you to those of you who called and made your contribution, and others who listened. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Have a good one.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other.